Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we have a absolutely wonderful treat for you. I'm joined by Austin, all the way down from Florida. How you doing?
Oh, good. Hot.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 95 with about 95% humidity today. And this is New England. I'd hate to see how it is for you guys down there. So anyway, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be simulating a multi-engine check ride. Austin is a private pilot. He's instrument rated, commercially related. We actually had him a couple months ago running through his entire commercial check ride as well, and that was an awesome experience for us. Today, of course, we're going to get to experience that all again, but we're going to be doing it from a multi-engine sort of scenario. So the cool thing about a multi-engine rating, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Austin, is basically it's an add-on to your existing private pilot.
Yeah, for the most part, a lot of people do all their initial training in single-engine airplanes. One, it's cheaper, simpler. You can go through it faster, and then once everything is done on the single-engine side, you can then do the multi-engine add-on for. It's a pretty quick, painless thing.
Painless. We'll see how we do today. So we're going to be running through the whole process. This is great for me because I don't have to touch anything today. I just get to say here and make snide, ignorant remarks here, and Austin's going to be doing all the flying. Anything you'd like to tell us before we get going today?
Yeah, so we're sitting here in the Diamond DA62. I haven't actually flown the 62 in real life, but I have flown the 42 quite a bit. A lot of the speeds are going to be a little different. I'm probably not going to get everything exactly right to the 62. I haven't bothered memorizing all the V speeds for the DA62. I don't want to forget all the speeds of the airplane I actually fly. So we'll get it as close as we can reasonably do.
Excellent. Now, my understanding is also with the multi-engine, most of the stuff you're going to be showing us is just how to deal with one of the engines not working more than anything special.
Right. So the multi-engine check ride is the add-on at least is very much what to do when things go wrong. It's kind of similar to the instrument check ride in that regard.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let you get started. So you can go ahead and get us started up and taxi us over to runway 22. By the way, if you're curious where we're sitting here, we're up here, and this is Kilo Bravo Hotel Bravo. This is Hancock County, Bar Harbor, Maine. I've been up here a bunch of times, not by air, but to basically check out the beautiful national park, which is just to our east, and will be terrifying the local residents with all sorts of nastiness. All right, take it away.
All right, so going to start the flow. Going to start at the kind of right here in the middle by the fuel control. Fuel's on. Lock the guards. Set the trim for takeoff. Throttle levers, not throttle. Power levers idle.
Now, why is it not a throttle lever?
Yep. So we're in diesels. So the diesel cycle, typically control the power based on introducing more fuel into the engine, not throttling the amount of air like you would in a gas engine. All right, so continuing, parking brake is set. We're gonna go and turn off or put on cabin airflow. No defrost. Landing gear down. Pitot heat off. Avionics master off. Electric master. That's on now. We'll leave it on. Masters off. Engine masters off. Alternators on. ECUs on auto. Coming back on top. I'm going to turn on the strobe light and the position light. All right, and we're ready to start.
All right, whenever you're ready.
All right, so starting this thing is stupid simple. It's 2 steps. Master on, wait for the glow plugs to finish firing. And you press the start button.
I wish my car start. Actually, it does start about that difficult.
Yep, so these are actually, if I'm not mistaken, these are based off of a Mercedes diesel engine. So they're automotive engines. So they have coolant, they have, car alternators. It's all Mercedes parts. All right, so start the right one. Wait for the glow plug to come off.
It's kind of like a fake primer almost.
Yeah, so it just heats up the cylinder a little bit just to help with starting the engine.
Because these are compression ignition, so that's
exactly
involved. All right, cool.
All right, so now we're started. So now, first thing we do when we start up, we set the fuel levers to cross feed. So what that does is the left tank is now feeding the right engine and vice versa. That's just to make sure that the cross feed system is working properly and that there's no nasty surprises later. All right, and then we're going to set up the G1000. And we can also test the pitot heat, make sure the warning comes off. Yep, back on. And the real thing, we'd have a pitot heat fail that would come on. That's just to show that the derating system works. So when we're on the ground, the pitot heat system is derated, so we don't burn out the pitot tube. All right, so that's all set up. Not sure what the altimeter setting is, but leave it there. Sounds about right.
Mhm.
Altitude, put it back up to 4,000 feet. We're departing, what was it, runway 22 today.
Correct.
So we're going to bug runway heading. Not sure if this will sync up well.
Yeah, we'll work together, Ed. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. All right.
close enough.
Yep, there's 220. All right.
Perfect.
We'll zoom in a little bit just for the taxiing. Oop, wrong way. There we go. Now we can see where we're going.
Perfect. It's one of the great things about these new fancy Manson ones.
Yep, so fuel back to normal and park and brake off. We are good to go.
All right. So you're going to be taxiing via Alpha Hotel and holding short of 22. This thing's like nice and quiet. God, this is nice. Now, how much do these retail for?
Oh, I don't even want to think about that.
You were saying?
More than I can afford.
I was going to say, what's the hourly rate on one of the 42s you were saying?
The 42s, I believe, with the instructors, just a little bit over 400 an hour.
Oh, my. Jeez, might as well fly helicopters at that point.
Yeah, no kidding. But for the helicopter, even for the add-on, you need, I still think you need 30 hours. But in the
Turn right?
for multi-engine, you only need, about 8 hours, 10 hours, something like that. It's so you need to end up spending a lot less on the multi-engine add-on than you would a helicopter.
Yeah. So now, as we're cruising down the taxiway here, my understanding is when it comes to multi-engine add-ons in the United States, that you can get it so that it's VFR only, you can get it so it's instrument, you can get it so it's commercial. Like, what's the difference?
So it's more or less the same as the single-engine stuff. You have the different kind of ratings. So you have the private, you have the commercial. Those are the two basic ones, I would say. And then you can get the instrument rating, which the instrument rating enables you to fly under instrument flight rules on an instrument flight plan. And you can get your. All right, so the instrument flight rules, the IFR rating is required for some parts of commercial flying. So, for example, if you don't have your instrument and you have your commercial, you are limited to flying 50 miles of the from the departure airport, and
Yeah, it's
you can't
not
fly
at
at
night.
night.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, but it's good to have for people who spraying crops and stuff like that, where they're not carrying passengers at all. They just want to get their commercial.
Gotcha.
They don't want their instrument or anything. But so the same thing happens for the multi. So if you have your instrument, you have the different requirements for the, or you can fly more as a commercial multi-pilot.
Gotcha. Now, are most commercial planes, at least in your not ATP, obviously, going to be multi-engine, or are they going to be single?
So it largely depends on what you're doing. Most charter operations and whatnot, those are almost exclusively going to be multi-engine. There's lots of operators like the PC-12, for example. That's all single engine. Some other single engine turboprops, but all the larger operations are going to be like that. There's some air tour operations that are single engine. Some smaller charter operations single engine. Even some survey operations use single engine, but you're really limited if you're only rated to fly single engine airplanes. So, the multi-engine add-on is kind of a necessary evil in the in the life of a pilot.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, at some points I'll actually get a chance to play something like this. All right, now we're coming up on a runway 22 here, so you're going to go ahead and show us your run-up and kind of walk us through some of the systems, and then we'll get to the air.
Yep. All right, so because, like I said, first of all, I want to point off the amazing turning radius of this thing.
Oh my gosh, I think you almost did a donut.
The real thing. Yep. All right, so here we are from the run-up. Set the parking brake. All right, we check the flight controls for incorrect. In the real life, we'd have to open the door and look back to make sure that to see the elevator.
Oh, you don't have third-person view? That's crazy.
Yeah, no. So, like I said, it's an automotive engine, so they make the run-up really easy for us. So all we have to do is press and hold the ECU test button on the left.
That's just wrong, and you know it. Look at that, it revs it up real nice. Oh, that is so cool. Twice. Oh man, I'd kill for something like this and the stuff that I used to fly. Because usually, like, is it 1800 RPM? Close enough. Now, we have no spark plugs, correct?
Nope. So we just have the glow plugs, which, you know, they don't typically fire all the time just to get the engine up to operating temperature to help start when it's cold.
Because it is compression ignition, yeah.
Right.
Gotcha. Oh,
yeah,
so that's
somebody
nice.
who's owned a diesel vehicle in the cold, starting when without glow plugs is always a process. So this makes it a little easier for us.
That's awesome.
All right, so that's the run up complete. Now the other part, we just run up both the throttles to full power. We're checking a couple things here. First, we're checking to make sure that all the engine instruments are in the green. Second of all, there's going to be a minimum percent power for full power, meaning let's see. All right. I don't know if that went off for you. I actually scrolled the LT. Yep. That's not part of the run-up. But anyways, yeah, we're just making sure that our engines are developing full power. So we're actually a little on the low end right now. Typically, it has to be up at about 95, 97%.
Gotcha.
I show it sitting at 93, 94%. But, you know, close enough for today.
I was going to say, it's hot.
Yep. So back to idle. Parking brake release. We'll get ourselves lined up and we'll depart.
All right, clear takeoff 22. During our initial takeoff here, let's go ahead and simulate an engine out on takeoff. At the appropriate dramatic time, one of your engines will fail before your rotation speed.
All right.
Then we'll just taxi back and do a regular one.
All right, the pre-takeoff checks. Taxi and landing lights on, fuel pumps come back on, and up to full power we go.
All right, let's do it.
And there we go. So in the event of engine failure prior to rotation, we just bring the power levers to idle and maintain direction control with the rudder, and we apply braking.
All right, nicely done. Nicely done. We can probably just back taxi.
Start that back up. We have to. It's a little simism here. We call it. You have to sometimes recycle the ECU voters.
Gotcha.
Yep, there we go.
All right, you can go ahead and back taxi. We'll do a regular takeoff, and I won't try to kill us this time. Oh, look at the turn radius on this. This is ridiculous.
So I think it's a lot easier to taxi in the sim actually than it is the real thing. It's the rudder pressure is just immense on the 42 at least, higher than anything else I've ever flown.
Now, is it on account of the fact that there's some kind of mechanical device making it hard, or is it something about the nose wheel steering that's just difficult to physically move it?
Yeah, I think it's just the nose wheel steering system, and actually the rudder pressures are pretty hard in flight, but it's especially when you're trying to steer the nose wheel. I don't know what it is about the system, but it is put a lot of resistance on the pedals.
That's interesting. Yeah, we had a Diamond 40 that I got a little bit of flight time in, and that was irritating because you didn't have a steerable nose wheel.
Right, so yeah, this at least does have a steerable nose wheel. That would be a huge pain if we did. But
yeah, we certainly couldn't do a turn like you just did a second ago.
No. All right, that's enough.
All right, this time I won't try to kill us.
All right. There's normal takeoff, short field. What do you want?
Short field, please.
All right, so we put the flaps to takeoff. We run them up. And release the brake.
All right, off we go. It kind of gets going. It's not too fast.
Nope, it does climb very well, though. And we are also very full of fuel, and we have aux tanks on this one. And looks like we're actually rolling uphill, too. There's rotate speed. Apply brakes. Climb out this, about this sight picture. And no runway remaining. We go and put the gear up. See, and I believe VYSD is 87. And then once we hit that, we can go flaps up. And we'll climb out 90. And then when hitting 500 feet, we'll go and accelerate to 100. And turn off our fuel pumps. And set 92% power.
All right, if you could go ahead and make yourself a nice gentle left turn. We're going to head towards those mountains. Might as well take a look at the nice Arcadia International Park here. National Park, I should say. I don't know how international it is.
All right, so we lost an engine. So first we're going to control the plane. So we're going to maintain 0 side slip, which is about 5 degrees bank away from the inoperative. All right, and then we're going to, and if you don't mind, I'm going to turn on the master just to, otherwise it's going to mess up the rest of our flow here.
Gotcha.
All right. So we identified the inoperative engine. We put that throttle to idle to verify, and now we can go ahead and feather. And all we do to feather is turn off the left engine master.
Wow.
And it should stop spinning.
All right. This is
and
Microsoft Flight Sim.
Make sure our speed doesn't come back below VYSE, which is about 87 this airplane.
Now, the purpose of that particular speed is to give you controllability with that engine out?
Glad you asked. So the VYSE actually is not about controllability. The VYSE is actually about climb rate.
Oh, okay.
So it's your best rate of climb, single engine. So if you're, like you see in the sim, at least in this plane, we're sitting here at VYSE and we're barely climbing, like less than 100 feet a minute.
Mm-hmm.
The 42, and like I said, I've never flown the 62, so I don't know if this is realistic to the real plane or if it's just underperforming, but the 42 will still get decent climb rate, at least at sea level.
Gotcha. All right, you can go ahead and restart that engine.
All right. Do that. Just turn the master on and bump the starter. Maybe.
There we go.
There it goes.
Oh, feel that. Oh, there's a climb rate. Nice. Excellent. So now you're going to pitch back for 100?
Yep.
Excellent.
Which I left the trim where it was, so it should get us back going pretty nice.
Eventually. Excellent. All right, cool. So why don't you go ahead and climb to 4,000 feet. We can kind of pick our heading a little bit to the left here. Like I said, kind of aim for that large mountain right there. I believe that's a Cadillac, if my memory serves me correct. Yes, it is. That is Cadillac Mountain. We'll go buzz the tourists. Now, what would you say is the biggest challenge to flying a multi-engine plane?
So at least what most people struggle with most when they're learning to fly these multi-engine planes is just staying ahead of the airplane. It's flying a lot faster. Like, we're climbing out. Our cruise climb is, basically the cruise speed of a Cessna 172, which, a lot of people getting their multi-engine, that might be the only plane they've ever flown. So things come up a lot faster, and things definitely get busy when, stuff does go wrong.
Gotcha.
So it's all about getting your flows down, building good habits, and learning to stay ahead of the game.
Gotcha. Now, I was going to say we were doing about 1,700 feet per minute for a moment there. That is tremendous. All right, we're going to go take a look at the tourists down there. Is everybody all queued up today? Not too bad. Not very foggy today. I'm kind of surprised. I've never been in Maine when the weather's quite this nice. Yeah, this thing's climbing tremendously fast. Now, how is the fuel consumption on the Diamond 42?
So it's not too bad. Typically about, I don't know, conservatively 16 gallons an hour total.
That's amazing. It's only 6 off of a 172, or 7 off of 172.
Yep, and we do quite a bit faster than that.
Definitely. So we're going to go ahead and make a 90-degree left turn and kind of head towards that large bay there. And I'd like to see your VMC demonstration.
All right. We'll bring the power back just a little bit so we don't get too much speed. Otherwise, it'll take forever to get into the maneuver.
Yeah, this is a very aerodynamic looking airplane.
Yep, it does not want to slow down, which is a part of why, staying ahead of it is so important.
Gotcha.
You can't be going a $150, right before your final approach fix, trying to go downhill in ILS. It's not going to work out well.
We'll put that to the test in a minute, actually.
All right, so the VMC demo, what we're going to do is make sure the trims are neutralized, our gears up, or our flaps are up. And we're going to go bring the thrust levers back to, let's say about 30%. And then we're going to bring the power lever over to our critical engine to idle. Maintain 0 side slip. And we're going to go full power on the operative engine. And we're going to slow down to our VYSD, which is about 87. And then once we're there, in fact, it's a little hard to see over the canopy, so I'm just going to set the heading bug just to demonstrate the heading drift.
Sure. At about 60 degrees or so.
Yep, so now once we're here, we lose about 1 knot per second. Until either the stall warning horn comes on or we lose directional control, whichever comes first.
You don't want either, really.
No.
Stall warning.
Up, there's the stall warning, so bring the power lever back to moderate power. Get back on heading and start a climb again and climb out of VYSD.
Excellent. Well done. Well done. All right, now we're going to go switch over to instrument conditions, and we're going to go ahead and bring the thing back onto the ground at the ILS-22. So would you like me to vector you in air traffic control style, or how would you like to do it?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
All right, go ahead and make your altitude 2,100 feet.
All right, we need a little bit of automation here.
Absolutely. I'll get us all nice and lined up. Your ILS frequency today is going to be, let me go check it real quick. It is 108.30. All right.
All right.
Our magnetic heading for the landing is going to be 221 degrees.
Okay.
Our initial altitude at our final approach fix is going to be 2,100 feet at the waypoint Cadillac. Makes sense. Then I'll vector us into there real nice. And I'll put on instrument conditions, at least in my screen, to make things a little easier. To come left to course 10 degrees.
Come left to 10?
Yep, come left to 10.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, how much of the multi-engine training do you do under the autopilot?
Depends on the person, really. I like hand flying, so usually my instructors have to kind of coerce me into using an autopilot.
That's excellent. I love it.
But so it largely depends, and I've heard of examiners actually failing applicants for not using the automation that they have to
that makes sense.
help with the crew resource management.
I was going to say that's your cockpit management or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Because it can definitely help you in the ILS, especially when you're single engine, because you can't obviously use the autopilot, but you can use the flight director to keep you somewhat on course.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. All right, our next,
right.
yeah, if you want to hold this heading
Go
out,
ahead.
I'll come bring you around. Our next heading is going to be 270, and it's going to put us on the, until we intercept the localizer. But we don't need to do it
Okay.
yet, so you can hold this in for now. We're basically, if you take a look at that mountain right off our 12 o'clock, that's going to be basically our pivot point. And you're going to bring us around to 270. Until you intercept the, like I said, the localizer.
And I'll go ahead and brief the approach real quick. So
Go
we
ahead.
have the ILS runway 22 to Bar Harbor. 108.3 is the localizer frequency. Final approach course is 224 degrees. That is set. 5,200 feet available. Touchdown zone elevation is 83 feet. All right, if we go missed, we're going to climb to 2,000, and we're going to enter a climbing right turn to 4,000 to BGR and hold. All right, we'll just say we have all the weather and all the frequencies set. And yep, looks like backwards the initial fix, and then Cadillac is the final approach fix, and that's going to be at 2100, which is the altitude we're at now.
Perfect.
And our minimums today are going to be 283 feet.
Perfect. Excellent. Somebody's been practicing instrument. And we'll do this one with a dead engine, but we're not going to do it until we get to the FAF.
All right.
Make it a little exciting. I'm going to leave the window, or the weather turned to normal for now, just in order to make it so that the folks at home can see what we're doing. Now, let me ask you a quick question. When you're planning for missed approach, when do you usually dial in the missed approach altitude to the autopilot?
I mean, I like to have the altitude bug set to the minimums just to make it a little easier to see.
Oh, that's
personally.
Different. Okay, I've never seen that before.
A lot of people will, when they start going downhill, they'll set the missed approach altitude.
Come left to 270.
All right, left 270. I might be completely in the wrong. It might, hurt me in the long run, but at least that's what I like to do in the G1000.
That's interesting. That's interesting. It's just so funny because all my flight training in the past has always been nothing electronic. And I just find that so interesting. Yep, basically until you intercept the localizer, I will fail the engine once you're established. And you'll just take us down to the ground nice and soft. I'm not going to miss approach or anything like that. Otherwise, we have to go to Bangor, and that's a bit of a drive.
Yeah.
Even in this thing. Now, I wonder if they do anything crazy commercial out of this particular airport.
So, not entirely sure. I know there used to be an operation that would do sightseeing with the glider, Waco biplane, and 182. And the glider they had was a 232. They would actually have 2 small seats in the back, 2 cramped seats, but 2 seats in the back. But I don't know if they're still in operation, to be honest. I know they had a engine failure in their biplane not long ago and ended up in a field. I haven't heard anything from them since.
That's a bummer. Although I gotta say, every time I see an airplane crash around where I live, it's 99% of the time somebody's private project steerman.
Oh yeah.
It's like every time. Although glider went down a couple weeks ago here too, and it looked pretty unscientific. It was basically sticking into a chain link fence, and kind of reminds like a Futurama. Whenever they crash the spaceship, they just kind of just get out and walk away. It didn't look like it was the roughest landing. All right, looking off our 11 o'clock there. Looks like we're going to be just established in a moment. Like I said, we'll fail the right engine on the way down once you're feeling comfortable.
I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, that's not right. Oh, I'll let it do its thing. So I try to arm the localizer hold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually that would just keep our heading, and then it would arm the localizer hold, and then when we started intercepting the localizer, then it would start turning us in.
I tried to do it early.
Yeah, I hit the localizer button and immediately started localizer hold, but it looks like we're more or less on heading, so I'll leave it like that.
Gotcha.
See if it works out.
No, that was an issue with Flight Simulator a little while ago. Yeah, somebody was quoting me in a forum post basically saying, yeah, look what happens when you press localizer hold. It's like, yeah, I hope they fix that.
In fact, I'm going to go back to heading here because it looks like we're going to get pretty close to the final approach. In fact, I'm going to start slowing it up.
Yeah.
Want to be about 120 is the it kind of seems like it's the designed approach speed for this.
Gotcha.
All right, we're within 5 nautical miles of the final approach fix. That's typically when we'll start feeding in flaps, and we can go flaps approach at 136 knots. So we're at 122, so we're good there. And
Perfect. There's Cadillac right there.
Beautiful.
Perfectly done.
And I can go nav and gear down.
Ooh, those are early.
Not quite sure what the autopilot's having us do right now, but nav, approach. Yep, there it goes. We're gonna be catching up here a little bit, but.
Gotcha. All right, now you're going to lose your right engine.
Oh no! Oh no! Engine failure. All right, so we're maintaining 0 side slip. Gonna secure the engine real quick. That's good. Flaps up. We'll leave the gear down though. So want to maintain about 100 knots. And so one thing we're going to be looking out for, since we're going to be landing single engine, is what's called a rudder reversal. So, we're holding in this left rudder right now, trying to counteract the inoperative engine. But in doing so, when we take out the power, we're actually going to have to end up feeding in more right rudder because the right engine is actually feathered right now, so it's going to be producing less drag than the left engine will be when it's windmilling.
That is annoying. As they say, one more thing. So I guess the secret is just get a Cessna 337 in order to take the test for it?
Yeah, if you do that, you actually get a limitation on your certificate for centerline thrust.
Oh, that's not fair. They thought of that. I guess they're just...
Oh, yes, they did.
Oh, they're way too efficient.
I mean, same thing with, like the F-15 and, other various fighter jets that are multi-engine, because they get their rating transferred over to the FAA, right?
Yep.
But they end up only getting a centerline thrust limitation on their certificate, and they have to essentially relearn how to fly multi-engine.
Oh my gosh, that's not fair. Of course, you're going to be learning multi-engine, and what's a twin-engine trainer? Actually, I think they have some Beechcraft parents. I forget what the military name for that one is. It definitely is a thing.
Yeah, they have quite a few actual, multi-engine airplanes in the military, for sure.
All right, starting to get a little of that chop.
Yep. But I'm not too worried. I'm a little on the fast side, pull a little bit of power.
So when you do that, obviously your rudder gets weird.
Yep. So especially in the simulator, I don't like to mess with the trim when I'm flying single engine because it's, a little too twitchy.
Gotcha.
But the real plane, messes up your trim every time you touch the power. So I try to kind of just leave an intermediate setting so I don't have to, my left foot doesn't fall asleep, but it also won't hurt me when I make power changes inevitably. All right, you can go ahead and tell me whenever I can go visual.
Clear, visual.
All right, going visual.
Yep, there it is.
Approach.
I was a millisecond early.
Slow down to our approach speed. A little firm, but that'll do it.
Now, you said that the shock absorbers on this aircraft are incredible.
Oh yeah, they make every landing field beautiful.
I'll give you back the right engine there so you can show us how to shut everything off. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
All right, nice, nice. Of course, I like how you call it firm. My flight instructor would be like, sorry, wheels. All right, we're not going to take we're going to left next taxiway.
All right.
All right, don't forget the landing lights and all that other good stuff, but you know all that. Nice. We're here. I don't. Let's say that'll be
Yep,
$275.
Yep, we survived to terrorize the skies yet another day. Nope, trying to turn off the flight director. There we go.
It's fun. Now, you said there's some kind of a pitch limiting system on the actual elevator?
Yeah, so I don't know if the DA62 has it at all, but at least some of the DA42s have it. Just for, I believe they have it as an option just so you can get an up gross.
Oh.
So you carry a little more weight. So what it does is if your power levers are the levers themselves, not the engines, are where are we parking? Right here.
Right on the right, yeah. You're going to be to the left of the aircraft to our right. Of course, you probably can't see him, but
yeah, I can see him.
All right.
Yeah. So you have the power levers are above 20%. What it's going to do is it's going to limit the motion of the elevator. It's actually going to. So if the power lever is above 20%, it's going to push the stick forward some. Actually, give you less stick authority, and that makes it less likely to overstress the airframe.
Gotcha. All right, we're here. Woo! Gotta see how much gas we burnt there. Nothing. 5%, barely.
All right, so we set the parking brake. All right, set the trims back. All right, and then so there's a limitation in the POH. You have to let it idle for a certain amount of time, but we're just going to say we did that.
Yep.
And turning off the plane is even easier than starting it. You just flip the masters off.
That's great.
And yep, that's that.
It just cools right off just like that.
Turn off the avionics master.
And it brings us to the screen. Look at that. Great flying, man. Any last comments there for us about multi-engine flying?
Nope. It's it's not too different from single engine flying, especially when everything's working. But yeah, it's a pretty short process getting the multi-engine add-on rating. Typically be done in a week or two, unless you're me and have bad weather in the sunshine state of Florida. I'm on month 2 and counting, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. You got to fly bigger, arguably more fun airplanes.
Gotcha.
Go faster. You can actually go places, in a decent amount of time. But yeah, highly recommend it to anyone who's looking to get their multi-engine add-on.
All right. Thank you again, Austin. This has been absolutely wonderful. This is so much fun. Any pilot likes to learn something all the time, and I definitely picked up a couple great things today. So as always, folks, feel free to throw some comments down in the bottom, other things you'd like to see. Other than that, enjoy, and I hope you all see you next time. Bye.